Okay, we're back with this case again. This is that Antec Sonata case that had that Intel Pentium 4 board in it. You can see I've pulled out the stupid fan in the back. Although I'm not going to be able to install a rear case fan in this because these screw holes are not a standard size, which is probably why somebody installed that fan in there like that in the first place. So, no rear case fan for this. I guess it doesn't really matter ultimately. I'm going to have to put a new power supply in it. I've put the optical drive. I actually changed it, so it's got a DVD burner in it now. And it's in the right place. Of course, you got the floppy drive. And I installed a hard drive. This is actually, if we go ahead and take a look, see, it's an IBM eServer drive, but it is actually a WD1600YS from Western Digital. Should be more than suitable for this. What are we going to put in? Well, I don't have a P9X79LE to put in this, but what I do have is this Asus M2N-SLI Deluxe with some RAM and a Athlon 64X2 6000 plus CPU. I think I mentioned in my P5NE build that one of the SATA ports on that board was bad, and I was wrong. It wasn't that board, it was this one. I know SATA 1 on this board is bad. So, well, I guess there's that. There's no I/O plate. I don't think I ever had the I/O plate for this board. So, it is what it is. I may see if I can find one, but it's not going to matter for me right now. But, so I'm going to go ahead and install this. Not sure what that is on that PCI slot, but I'm not going to ask questions. And we'll have to choose a video card, and I think I know exactly which video cards I'm going to choose, because I am going to run an SLI setup on this. But, of course, we have to get it in the case first, which means I am going to have to redo some of the standoffs, because the old board had 2 screw holes here. This one only has 1. So I'm going to have to pull that standoff out. But it's not that big of a deal. Okay. The power supply, which is an Antec True Power 2.0 550 watt power supply, is installed. I think this has 4 gigs of RAM on it. I'm not really sure, but it should be good enough for anything that I'm going to do with it. I'm not plugging in the front panel USB because the front panel USB sucks. It's one of these, you know, these stupid things that have single pins. I hate those so much, so I'm not going to worry about it. I need to go ahead and cable this up. That bird, I swear, I don't know if you can hear that on video. But, I don't get it. Anyway, I had to get the cables all plugged in. The SATA cable, and then the ribbon cables for the optical drive and the floppy drive. Those shouldn't be too bad, though. I hope. I may even hook up the CD audio on that, but I may not. Probably won't, because I don't have a surplus of CD audio cables, and I don't really have a need for it in the system anyway, so, I mean, what's the point, really? Alright, we are now all cabled up, I hope, including, well, almost including the 2 video cards. They're both the same, they're both NVIDIA cards. Exactly what they are, I don't know off the top of my head. I imagine they're probably, like, 7600 GTs or something similar. Maybe a little bit bigger than that, but, I don't know. I guess we'll find out what they are when I power this up. I do have to get the screws for all of those put back into place. Man, the mosquitoes in here are just crazy. Go away. Take off. Anyway, I'm going to have to get the screws in, And, well, I guess we could power it up and figure that out. Now, you'll see that the SLI bridge is missing. I had an SLI bridge that was brand new in the package. But because people around here can't leave things that don't belong to them alone for 5 seconds, somebody has moved it, and where they've moved it to, I have no idea. So I guess when I find it, or I buy a new one and then it shows up, I'll go ahead and I'll install the SLI bridge and we can run a proper SLI setup on this. I haven't decided whether it's going to run Linux or if it's just going to be a Windows XP machine, maybe Windows 7, but I might just go ahead and install Linux, just so I can have the Linux SLI setup. Oh yeah, I should probably mention, I did have to remove these support brackets, because obviously they came out of a Dell system, and those support brackets mean that it would not actually fit in this case. So, I got it all cabled up, so I think we are ready for moment of truth time over here. So, let's see what goes wrong. Okay, here we go. Delete to enter setup. I think we're good to go, though. Yeah, look at these things. They're everywhere. Alright. 2 gigs of RAM. Ouch, I thought I had more than that. Well, I'll have to see if I can upgrade that, because that's not going to be good enough. I don't have much in terms of DDR2 just sitting around. Most of the stuff I've got laying out is either DDR or DDR3 at this point. So, but I was able to bump it up to 4 gigabytes of matched memory modules, so that's definitely a plus. It had a matched set installed in it originally, but of course, it's only 2 gigs, and I didn't find another set of this. Plus, the stuff that's in there I think is 6400, so it should be a little bit faster. Not that I think it'll matter. We've got all the drives that we need. You can see, obviously, it's plugged into SATA 2 because SATA 1 is dead. So I'm going to have to configure this to my liking. And I got a USB stick out here, and I'm wondering if that's a Linux USB or if it's a Windows USB. I'm going to go ahead and try and find out. Okay, save and exit. See if it still works. There we go. I want a boot menu. So I can boot to this. Alright. Yep. I think that's my Ubuntu. So we'll go ahead and we'll let that start up. Working well, I see. Working very well. Well, I'm going to trudge onwards anyway. As long as I can actually read what it's doing. Wow. Yeah, this thing is just awful. Alright, continue. These cards sound like they are definitely probably overheating. Of course, I don't know if they really work, to be honest with you. So, we'll let this do its thing. Okay, restart now. Let's see what it does. I think those fans that are ramping up with that are the video card fans. It's about 30 degrees out here today, so I'm sure that's real good for it. There might be something wrong with the card, of course. For whatever reason, I can't use the primary card I have to plug the video into the secondary card in order for it to actually function, which is weird. I've never had to do that before. At least, not that I remembered. Is it doing anything? Or did it just blow up on me? It's still doing stuff. So, maybe we'll give it a few minutes and see what happens. Yeah, looks like it's no better. So, I don't know if it's a card problem or what's going on. I can't even really tell what I'm doing. So I'm not sure where the settings application is. I can see it. There it is. So we'll see if we can bring that up. But yeah, the video cards are going nuts in there. So, well, it knows what that is, at least. Let me see if I can open up a terminal. And have it not be... Yeah, it's pretty broken. Oh, wow. Alright. I don't even know where it is. Okay, NVIDIA MP55 AMD CPU. It's a 7800 GTX. It looks like only one of them is showing up, which would explain why I can't use the other one. It's like scrolling sideways. Okay, so yeah, we're definitely all kinds of messed up here. So I'm gonna just go ahead and shut this thing down if I can. And we'll call it good. And we'll deal with the various issues later. So, there's your video of setting this up. Work in progress, as you can tell.